Okay. We are not going to preach to you on a soapbox today. We need engagement. So at the bottom, right, I see Pat, James, Linda, Azim, right, Richard. If you guys could click that little chat button down there at the bottom. Some of you are already doing this. And please, guys, even if you're not on camera, and I see some of you are sick, that's all right, guys, no worry. All right, again, if you're in your pajamas or, in your bathtub, guys, keep your camera off. You're all good. If you're not feeling good, that's cool, right? If you can, let's get cameras on, ask questions, get the chat button open. All right, because you are about to hear from a man that has built, guys. He had how would I say this? A brokerage, guys, that was doing, I believe, well over 1,000 transactions at one point. Was a referral fee brokerage. He's built multiple multi-million-dollar companies. Okay, so if you're saying, well, I made 100 grand this year. Well, if you want to make 7 figures, okay, write that down for me. Start with the pen and pad. 7 figures. Not 100K, not 250, not a $500,000, 7 figures. You need to hang out here because, guys, 7-figure community is what this is all about. And you are going to hear from our leader, guys, on somebody that has done this multiple times, worked with top agents, team leaders, brokers. If you're in insurance, guys, you're in mortgage, we have been there, done that. Okay, so you want to stay along, ask questions, guys. All right, this man right here, 21 years plus of experience, 20 plus years, right? I don't want to take away from his story. So the man, the myth, the legend is here to teach you how to change your business. Isaiah Colton, without further ado, my friend, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Guys, who's excited about day 2 of actually learning how to build the funnel? By show of hands, if you're excited to learn how to build an appointment booking funnel today. So this something for me, if I share my story with you guys yesterday, I talked to you about how the majority of our business came when we were building the first phase of our brokerage came through cold calling. And while that serves a purpose and it still can be effective, you can only scale cold calling so much. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? And you all have your own version, your own way that you've got to the point that where you are today. But then eventually you have to get to the point you have to do things different. You have to try to find other ways to generate business. And this is one way that I found is by developing an appointment booking funnel and then marketing that funnel correctly. One of the ways that I found to generate an amazing stream of revenue, not only for our real estate team, for agent attraction, but every other business that I built, having an appointment booking a funnel is extremely important. And I'd say that out of close to $10 million in cash collected that we've earned between all the different businesses, just in the past 2 or 3 years, we've been doing funnels. A large majority of that has come from an appointment booking funnel. And this year alone, our from an agent attraction standpoint, I'm going to actually share the metrics with you because I shared my story yesterday where I exited out of our independent brokerage. We had a parting ways with the 2 other gentlemen that we were partnered with, and I was in the process of going to start up another independent brokerage, and I actually decided to partner up with a gentleman from EXP to build out the team. And our appointment booking funnel and how we marketed to the funnel this year alone has generated, I think, close to 30 different agents have actually joined our team through this funnel funnel concept. So I'm going to share with you real life examples today of not only like how to build the funnel, but the funnel working. So just out of curiosity, who's excited to see a funnel that generates leads? Say leads versus agent attraction. So say leads versus agent attraction. Let me know what one you're more excited about, just so I can get an idea of our audience here. Okay. So again, this is something that's not theoretical while you're doing that. I live and breathe this every single day. I spend probably an hour or 2 of my day either building, optimizing, or adjusting funnels or driving traffic to funnels with my marketing team and our marketing team throughout the different divisions, because it's that powerful that it deserves that much time and attention. The next thing I want you to remember when we're going through this, I want you to remember that I'm going to teach you the how, okay? But don't get caught in the how trap. I'm also going to share with you who can help you with this. Does that make sense to everybody? So don't think that you got to sit here and be a professional funnel builder overnight to make this work. Now, some of you want to geek out like I do, right? Some of you like geeking out on this type of thing. Just out of curiosity, do I have any people that like geeking out on funnels and marketing? Do I have any like any funnel builders here or people that like geeking out on this kind of thing? So just drop yes in the chat. Some people don't, right? So it's okay if you don't, because really the reality is that you want to, the key to actually moving from becoming a professional to a CEO, which is what we train as a keyword. I want you to write this down, called leverage. I think we've all heard that before, but a lot of us don't use leverage the right way. We think we got to do everything on our own. How many people have had that struggle before, where you get caught up in trying to do everything on your own and then nothing works well, right? So that's a big thing that I want to share with you today. Is as I go down through it, don't say to yourself, well, I can't do that. This is going to be your natural reaction. I'm going to tell you right up front. You're going to say, I can't do that. Okay. Or you're going to think about all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. What I want to do is I want you to break through those limiting beliefs and say, who can I find to help me do this? So that way I can have a powerful appointment booking funnel if you see it being effective. Can we have that agreement today? Don't think I can't do this, but think who can help me do this? Just drop yes in the chat if we can make that agreement here today. So that way our mind doesn't shut down and not process the important things we have to learn about building an appointment booking funnel. Well, Isaiah, if I can have somebody else do it, why am I sitting here learning how to do it, right? That's a pretty good question. Why would I spend the time learning to do it? Well, here's the thing. How can you keep the people accountable that you're hiring to do it if you don't know how to do it yourself? Does that make sense to everybody? If you don't know the psychology behind making it work, you can go hire somebody that says they know what they're doing, right? But I'm going to give you a definitive checklist, a definitive guide that when you go to hire somebody to do your own appointment booking funnel, you can keep them accountable to the best practices. Does that sound good to everybody? Does that make sense? It's like if you go to hire an inside sales agent, but you don't know the best practices of inside sales, how the heck are you going to coach them and manage them properly? Does that make sense? If you don't have an instructional guide or some sort of best practices to even know if it's working or not working. And so that's really the benefit of this, is to understand the psychology of how to do it, how to do it. And here's the other reason why is there's a difference between a strategist and tactician. Okay, I want you to write that down. Strategist and tactician. The strategist learns the psychology of the thing that they want to accomplish and do, and then does it for a little bit, enough to become deadly at it. Okay. And then turns it over to the tactician that can go execute it. The greatest entrepreneurs and CEOs in the world follow that formula. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Right. The difference between a strategist and a tactician. Right. And so this is the other skill set that I want you to learn here today, and that we teach in our mastermind group, in our Growth CEO mastermind group, is how to be a better strategist, where you understand the line between learning the how and the strategy behind it, and then bottling that up effectively, and then turning it over to a tactician that can help give you leverage. Okay. And with artificial intelligence and other tools that are coming out, it makes it even easier to do the tactical part and turn that over to people. So I want to make sure everyone's committed here, that moving forward, you're going to make a commitment that you're going to learn the how, the strategy part, but you're going to get really good at finding a tactical person to help you, because that's going to bottleneck you if you don't. Is that fair to everybody? Okay. So with that mindset, now that we're kind of on the same page with that, just a quick review from yesterday. One of the things we talked about was, why the hell is it important to do an appointment booking funnel in the first place? Okay. Why should I do an appointment booking funnel in the first place? So a little bit of recap. Go back to your notes if you need to. Want to make sure we're on the same page. And then we're going to, after about a 10-minute recap, we're going to get into today's content of finding our target audience. Okay. Making sure we have a good offer in the funnel structure. Okay. So why the hell should we take the time to do an appointment booking funnel in the first place? Feel free to take yourself off mute or the chat. The more interactive, the better. I don't know about you, this can be really boring if somebody's talking at you all the time. That's why I like to ask questions and have interaction, right?
To automate lead flow.
Yeah, automate lead flow. That's one of them. Yep.
To be efficient with your time.
Efficiency, big, yeah, that's a big one.
Don't want a cold call.
Yeah, like if you can find warmer leads, right? That's a good thing.
Also, you keep track of all your previous customers.
Yeah, you can I think if I'm hearing right, you can use the funnel re-engage, right? Re-engage your previous customers by providing them other value.
Is organic also?
24/7.
Say again?
It's available 24/7.
Yeah, it's a big one. I mean, there's nothing like having an automated funnel, right? That's marketing for you 24/7 out there while you're sleeping. Who likes the idea of
Is
getting
organic
exposure?
lead?
Go ahead.
Is organic lead also?
The organic.
It's all organic. Yeah.
Yep. Organic
Once
leads.
you have a good email list, you can drip market to them for a long time, and clients that you get later on, that you may not get right away, but you're in their mind.
Heck yeah, absolutely. All good things. I want to narrow down to the three big ones. You guys ready? Just as a recap from yesterday, three big reasons. Okay, the first one is you're in control of your own lead generation, meaning you can notch it up and bring it down. How many people have ever went to a third-party company and maybe they've limited how many leads, right? Or whatever, or you have to buy certain zip codes and or you're competing with other leads, right? Or other agents on the leads. And anyone ever run into that? So like you're in control over your own lead source. Okay, that's a big one. Who agrees that's pretty important, right? Now I'm not saying don't spend money on those other. Our real estate team spends a lot of money on other lead sources still too, but we have this as one of the nets that we're throwing out there to catch more fish, if you will. So that's a big one. The other one is branding, right? When you use another lead source like Zillow or another platform company, are they branding you?
No.
They're not, right? So you're not getting the benefit of your money as a secondary benefit to getting the branding that the funnel brings behind it, right? And then the third one is that when you optimize it correctly, okay, you're actually going to generate a better lead over time, because when you use a platform lead generation company, they don't necessarily know who you are by the time the lead's generated. Does that make sense? They don't know who you are yet. In this scenario, with an appointment booking funnel, they've seen you, they've seen your name, gave you the information, you've generated a lead, hopefully an appointment, but they've seen who you are. They know who you are, at least. So when you go to follow up with them, it's a little bit of an easier conversation. So drop yes in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down, if we're on the same page with the big three, if you were able to record the big three reasons why it's beneficial to have an appointment booking funnel. Now there's other ones which you guys said too. All of those are other really great reasons why to have an appointment booking funnel, but I wanted to really hone in on the big three. Okay, so now with that, one of the things that one of the things that we talked about that was important that we also went over yesterday was the KPIs. Okay, so just if you weren't able to record that from yesterday, it's really important that you understand what what the industry standard is funnel for funnel performance. So if you didn't have a chance to take a look at that from yesterday, if you paid the $7 for the slides, I also actually produced a workbook for you last night that you're going to have access to, that will be in the $7 purchase, which I believe is right here. Here's your workbook. This is going to all be in the workbook for you guys to go through afterwards once it pulls up. Got a lot of windows open here, so it's going to take a minute to load. But I actually have all of this that we're going over here today in the workbook as well. Okay, but so where I'm at right now is your KPI. So we said that for every $1,000 that we spend on ad spend or outreach, we want to generate somewhere between $100 to $150 in leads. Some of you, if you're not doing, you might have somebody else or be using an AI assistant or somebody to follow up on those leads. So you're going to want to budget that within the follow-up, the follow-up sequence. You should be generating about 20 to 40 conversations if your follow-up's done right, which should lead to 7 to 10 appointments, 5 to 7 presentations, 1 to 3 contracts, 1 to 3 referrals coming from those contracts. At the end of the day, if you put in 20 grand to 30 grand into the funnel over the course of a year, a good metric is to generate $120 to $200,000 from that funnel. Now, here's the exciting part. Once you have this honed in, can you scale it? Can you make it generate more leads if you want to? Yes or no, right? Drop yes or no in the chat. You can, right? You can make sure that it starts generating more leads. And so what you do is you take the profits from your funnel and you start putting them back into the funnel to generate more and more leads. And you keep doing that into your appointment booking funnel and finding different ways and different ways to drive traffic to the funnel to get it to generate more and more and more profit. And then you just keep doing that until it doesn't generate it anymore. And literally, folks, you can literally scale an appointment booking funnel in probably 1 to 2 years. Just do one funnel, keep tweaking it, and making a ton of money if you get really, really good at this process. So I just want to confirm, for most people, it's a pretty good return on investment if you can put 20 in and get 120 to 200,000 back out, right? That's pretty good math. By the way, that's kind of what you should be looking for. So if any lead generation source that you're using, if your follow-up sequence is done right and you're doing your job the right way, those are the numbers that you should be looking for. Okay, so just as a quick recap. Then what we did is we came up with some action steps. Okay, the first one was defining your target audience and their pain points. Okay, so just out of curiosity, how many people were able to work on that or think through that yesterday? Drop yes in the chat if you're able to think through who you want your target audience to be for the funnel. Okay, and you're able to think through that. Drop yes in the chat, and then just out of curiosity, who is that audience? Just curious who that is for yourself, okay? And their pain points. All right, so I'm going to show you what I do to think through exercises like this. There's various tools out there that you can use to do this, but I use REN360 to help me do this. If you don't have access to REN360, they offer a free trial without any credit card required, so you can play around with the tool with no credit card required, and they'll give you access to like all the tools for 14 days or so. But they have what's called Ren AI Assistant, and it's programmed for real estate and anyone in the home services industry to help you produce really good content. So I'm going to just brainstorm a little bit to say, what are all the pain points that sellers have when they go to sell their home? And you could even get more specific with it with your prompting, but this is I'm just moving really quickly here for an example so I can show you. Can everybody see my screen okay? Drop yes in the chat if you can see my screen okay. List out, let me just try prompting a different, list out all the problems that sellers have when they go sell their home. Okay, that prompted better. So now I've got a frame of reference. Now what I'm going to do is turn this so I can turn this into an ebook. I can turn this into a one-page flyer. But now that I have all these pain points, I can actually start creating content around these pain points. Do we see the importance of coming up with the pain points for our target audience? Why you want to start there? Drop yes in the chat if you guys are following along. Why you want to start off with pain points? Well, folks, you're a problem solver, right? The biggest thing is you are a problem solver, right? That's one of the things that you do. If you're really good at what you do, you solve problems. A lot of our clientele don't know the problems they're going to have before they have them. Would we agree? They don't even know the problems they're going to have. So if you can position yourself to start communicating the problems they're going to have before they even have them, they're going to start seeing you as the authority in your local community, and they're going to want to work with you more and more. So drop yes in the chat if that makes sense, right? So that's the power of being of marketing and coming up with really good marketing materials. It's thinking through the problems your clients are going to have and solving them and becoming the authority in that specific niche because they see you as the problem solver or they see you as providing value before they work with you. So yeah, I love that. That's so true, Valerie. So I could go a little bit further here, but this is a base level. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to say, turn this into an ebook. Let's see what it does. I've never done this prompt in this before. Awesome. So it's giving me an outline of a chapter of an ebook. And I'm not going to do all this in front of you, but I want to show you how easy this is to do. So then what you can do is you can take each chapter, develop, give me content. Give me content for this chapter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste. Okay. I love it. So then I'm going to copy and paste this onto a Word doc or whatever tool you're looking to. Who agrees that's pretty cool? That's pretty easy. It's easier than ever before to create your own marketing materials, right? Drop yes in the chat if you're seeing how easy this is when you have an effective tool to help you think, right? So
I don't even know how you got to that area.
Go ahead. You said something?
I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm trying to figure out how you got to that area. I'm sorry. I've been trying to figure that out.
So just go to REN360.io and they'll offer you a free trial. If
you I already have it. I'm up on the site right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out which area you went in to get to that part.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. So if you go to the bottom left-hand corner, you see this little bubble?
Yes, sir.
You click on that bubble and Ren AI Assistant will be ready to go for you to do your prompting. Okay. Yep. And if it says it's not in the knowledge base, just ask it the same question differently until you get the answer that you want. Okay.
Okay. You said a bubble at the bottom. You said. Okay.
Yep. You see what if you can see me clicking it here. Yep.
Okay. Cool beans. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Kara, do you say it's easy when I'm doing it, or are you just saying it's easy in general? I don't. So, it is easy for me to do it because I've gotten good at prompting, right, and figuring it out. But it's just like anything else, like learning how to tie your shoe. The more you do it, the easier that it gets. Okay. So we want to do that. And here's the thing: after I come up with my pain points, then I'm going to think of all of the things that I can do to add value, right? So, what can I do to add value to them? And the next thing that I think through thoroughly is what I try to do is I try to think through all of the services that I can offer to help them solve their pain points. Who agrees it's really important, if you're going to be in a niche, if you had all of their problems solved, all of the vendors, all of the services, all of the things that they would need before, during, and after the home buying and selling process, if you had all that lined up for them and you eliminated all of their headache, all of the time and the investment, everything was in one place in one packet with everything, that could be extremely valuable to your client, where you've virtually thought through everything for them. Right. And so, one of the things that I want to express, that if you want to separate yourself from your competition, don't just be their realtor, okay? Or don't just be their mortgage broker or their insurance agent. Be their go-to agent that helps them, that becomes a true advisor throughout the whole process. And whether that's a moving company or a roofer or whatever their problems they run into along the way, you can be there to provide those services. So that's one of the reasons why the name of our team is Ren Home Advisors, because we actually want to make sure we're advertising that we're providing a whole solution for them. Okay, so it's a huge way to differentiate your your services. And then once you have this structure now you're able to move to your actual offer. How many people only offer one choice? You only have one choice when you go to list a property, or you only give them one choice of service. Just out of curiosity. Just drop yes in the chat if you only give them one choice. David, we're going to send this out to all of the paying clients, and it will be posted on your resources page. So if you're with Grow CO, David, it'll be in the Grow CO resource page, and plus you'll also get it as a paying client. Okay. I'm not asking everybody to agree with me on this. Okay. But if you want to take your offer to the next level, offer different levels of services. And I'm not asking you to actually take a commission cut here. What I'm asking is offer accelerated services even past your 6%, and watch how many of them might take advantage of that if they see that you're actually providing additional benefits that than other people don't. So let me give you an example, and I'm going to show you some real life examples tomorrow. But one member on our team, he actually has built his own team. His name is Ben Lang, but he actually offers accelerated levels of service where they can, for a higher commission, he'll actually have a contractor go in and fix up their home for him, along with other benefits that are part of that package, like staging, etc. So what happens is if you offer more than one level of service, they're more likely to choose a level of service instead of just thinking about choosing you. And here's where my conviction is, and I'm not asking everybody to agree with me, but I just want you to think about this as a potential option. If you only offer one option, the option is either you or not you. If you offer other levels of services and you have a really good offer, now the option becomes what options that you offer. It's a very different psychology. And I want you to think about this. How many other places or services do you go where they only offer one option of service? What other places can you think of where they only give you one service offering? And the question is I don't know if you can think of any. Can anybody think of any other industry that you only have one service offering? So I'm assuming the crickets mean we can't think of anyone, right? So the reason why they don't do that. Go ahead. Somebody else say something?
I said In-N-Out Burger. I mean, you can only get a hamburger. That's it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a service. And I mean, almost everybody has some other kind of,
right.
You start with this, and then it's like, well, if that doesn't work, we've got this,
Yeah.
Like that's one of my whole things is like a creative financing, offer. I can go into a house and say, listen, not only can I update your house, if you need to do a complete remodel, but we don't charge you until close of escrow.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And if you're in mortgage, yeah, they do curb the multiple services, but you have multiple products for them, right? You don't just have one product available to them. You have other products available to them still, right? You don't just say, oh, this is the only mortgage type that you can get. You have other options depending on their needs. Going back to the burger analogy, the burger's the main thing, but they offer different types of burgers still, right? I think that I've never been to In-N-Out Burger. I'm assuming they do, right? They offer different
In-N-Out Burger.
No, man, I'm in upstate New York. We're boring, and we got like McDonald's and Chick-fil-A is the big highlight where we are. So.
They do different variations of burgers, but it's really just like there's stuff that's off the menu. Like they have like I always get like a double animal style, and it's like cooked in mustard, and they saute the stuff, or you can get it.
Oh, nice! Dude, you're making me hungry, bro. I'm supposed to be watching what I eat. I'm trying to lose more weight. This sounds amazing.
But they do. I mean, it's stuff that's off the menu, but they're not offering like chicken or a hot dog or whatever. Right. You get burgers and fries, and it's all fresh, made there, never frozen. Like it's packed all the time. Anyway, cool. I mean, if you ever get to the West Coast, I mean, it's established in California, so
Well, hey, I'm gonna be in Anaheim later in the week, so I'm gonna have to see if I got one out there.
I'm sure they've got an In-N-Out in Anaheim. I'm almost positive of it.
Yeah, there you go.
But
So-
they don't offer anything like chicken, hot
Yeah.
dogs or whatever.
Right.
It's strictly
Right.
burgers,
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a good analogy because we're not, when you're talking about mortgage or you're talking about insurance, you're still offering insurance, or you're still offering, if you're obviously a realtor, you're still offering services to help them buy or sell the home, but you're offering ways to make that experience better.
Hi, Lynn.
Right. So I guess that's what I'm referring to is different levels of services to make that experience better. I think this is a great analogy. So, I'm going to move on from this point because we got a lot to talk about, but drop yes in the chat. At least if I've convicted you enough to think about it, okay, of the power of having a strong offer. If you're going to only offer one offer or one level of service, okay, then what I want you to do is make sure that son of a gun looks so attractive that it stands out from everybody else. Because if your offer doesn't stand apart from your competition, okay, now it becomes a personality contest. Drop yes in the chat if you agree it's really dumb business idea and marketing idea to compete on personality alone. Okay? Dumb idea. Now, personality is important. They got to like you. You got to have persuasion skills, but you don't want to compete just on personality alone. Okay? So super important to make sure that you have a good offer. That's also going to frame out. So other things is unique value, any performance guarantees, levels of service that would go into your offer. So really thinking through that and developing good marketing pieces, which I'm going to show you tomorrow, so you can see what that looks like in real time. Okay. So if you want access to all of the materials and everything I'm showing you, I got the recordings, the bundle, the challenge recordings. That's all with the $7. And if you want to enhance your experience, I'm going to do a special organic social media training on Thursday. That only my VIP clients are going to have access to. And then everything that I'm sharing with you, if you want, like all the listing presentations, all the things, the unique value propositions that we train and coach on, you can get that in this masterclass bundle. Okay. So with that, let's get into today's topic, which is the structure of the funnel. Okay, so at this point, we should define our target audience. So I want to make sure everyone's following along. If you have your target audience and you're clear on the numbers, the KPIs, I want to make sure everyone's crystal clear. Drop yes in the chat. You've accomplished that part of the challenge. Okay, how many people, by the way, that was a helpful exercise for you to go through, to really think through, either raise your hand or give me a shout out or drop yes in the chat if like that was a really helpful exercise for you to think through that part of your business going into 2024. Okay, is maybe a recalibration. Okay, so the next step is planning the funnel structure. Okay, so this is where you kind of decide the numbers of steps in your funnel. The nice thing about an appointment booking funnel is there's really only a handful of steps. Okay, and that is your main landing page. Okay. Then they go from the main landing page, okay, they go to a form that they fill out. And then once they fill out the form, they go to an appointment booking funnel or up an appointment booking center and then a thank you page. So it's really It's really a 4-step funnel. And all that is mapped out in detail in this workbook that you're going to get if you purchase the $7. Okay, so it's all mapped out here. So you can see this. So let me show you. You guys want to see a couple live examples? Is that cool? You guys want to see some live examples real quick of what this looks like? Okay. So if I go to, I'm going to go to my agent attraction funnel. So you can see what this looks like. Why is it doing that to me? We changed our domain recently, so there we go. Okay. So in this particular case, I chose to do a video on the front of my funnel. You don't have to do a video. You can just do a static image that speaks to your target audience. And I'm going to teach you about some really, really important parts of the funnel. Just kind of take a note of this. Your headline is the most important part of your funnel. If you can just take a note of that. We're going to get back to that in a minute. And then this is where there's a framework I'm going to give you. Write this down: hook, story, offer. Hook, story, offer. So those are the three elements that you always want to make sure that are on your funnel. So here's the headline that you come up with. You can have a static image. Then this is where you're kind of telling the story of what you have to offer, and then there's call to actions throughout the funnel. Okay, and then if you go here, if I click on here, then it's going to start the process of filling out the funnel, and then I'm going to go to the next page. And this is where they actually see a video talking to them about the benefits of joining our team, joining our real estate team, or still being independent, but being a part of our movement or group. And all the benefits with that. And you can see how they can book an appointment right here. Okay. So give you an idea, so far this year, our stats, and we've driven about 700 people to the page, a little under 700 people to the page. We've had 60 plus people actually book an appointment from this funnel, to give you some idea. And out of there, we've gotten about 20 to 25 actual agents that have joined the team from going through this process. Okay, who could get excited about that? If you're an agent attraction, if you got really good at this process, you could get excited about some of those numbers, right? So so that's pretty much how it works. And to watch what I'm just walk you through the rest of it. It's pretty simple.
Isaiah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Is this Calendly like that you have on the back end to capture these leads, or is that all just one, or is it just yours? I mean, do you have some extra kind of software that you're using?
Yeah, great question. I'm going to get to the software part of it later on, if that's okay. I'm going to actually share with you all the software you need, if that's cool. But a quick answer to that part, that is a Zoho booking tool, which is just like Calendar or Calendly. So you can use Calendly if you want to, but we use Zoho bookings to answer your question real quick. Okay. So what they do is they just fill this out. So it's the number of current transactions. So just put in 25 or 45 annual production goal, 50 current lead sources they're using, Zillow. So trying to figure out a little bit of background on them, schedule an appointment. Yoo-hoo! And then they can add it to their calendar. So go to Google Calendar and they add it right to their calendar and you're good to go. And so now what will happen is, so on the back end, what happened was an appointment got booked, but also this lead is going into our CRM. So we zapped it into our CRM, and now it's going to start up a follow-up sequence. Okay. So who agrees that it's pretty simple? An appointment booking funnel is actually more simple than you thought it was, right? There's not too many crazy steps to it, right? But it can be extremely powerful if you get it down right. Okay. So did anybody have any questions before I move on to the next step of showing you another
If you don't mind
example?
me asking, sir, how'd you get it to go into your CRM?
It's called Zapier. So
Okay, Zapier. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Zapier. You hook up the funnel to Zapier, and Zapier makes the lead flow into your CRM.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yep,
Because
go
my
ahead.
power just went out. So unfortunately, is there a way to get a copy of
Okay.
So with those 20 to 25 who joined,
Yep.
have you made any money with them, and if so, how much money have you made with them?
Oh, so for agent attraction, so I'm not going to give you my exact numbers just because that's confidential, but I'll give you a range. Okay. So I have a revenue override through EXP that is really, really fun. It's more than triple and quadruple my mortgage payment at this point. I have attracted some really good agents to our team. So the whole team's going to do around 600 to 700 transactions between everybody.
Thank
Did that
you.
answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yep. You're welcome. All right. So, yeah, and so then I'll show you another example. Who wants to see like a seller lead funnel? Drop yes in the chat if you want to see one that's more towards like sellers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, and you'll see it's the same process that you'll see here. So REN Home Advisors. So this one is built into right to, our real estate site. So if I go here, you can see I actually have several different funnels that I'm building out that I'm playing around with. So I'm going to just bring you to the seller guide one. This is one of my favorite ones. Actually, sorry, I went to the wrong one. So this is one of my favorite funnels. Look how stupid simple this is, folks. So I want you to write this down. In the beginning, when you're like you're kind of like getting used to building this, sometimes less is more. You don't need to have everything perfect to launch a funnel. Why? Why do you think I say that you don't have to have everything perfect or have the greatest, most fancy funnel to launch it?
Because you get better as you go.
Yeah, you get better as you go, and you're going to have to optimize it and make changes and updates to it anyway, right? There's no such thing in marketing as setting it and forgetting it. Agreed? Drop yes in chat if we're in agreement with that. There's no such thing as in marketing as just setting it and forgetting it. It does not work that way, right? There's no such thing as marketing and sales as setting it and forgetting. There's always a continued process of improvement, right? So, and by the way, if anyone ever sells you a set it and forget it, like, oh, you're not gonna, set it and forget it, you don't have to do anything. Okay, it's bullshit. Okay, so I hate to say that, but it's just the truth. Okay. Because the reality is you're always going to have oversight and you're going to want to check in on it. You're going to want to make sure it's optimized. You want to get statistics, seeing if they're going to improvement. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? Just give me a quick wave. All right. So, if that makes sense. All right. So I'm going to pull this back up so you guys can see this. So here's where they just go in and they just download the guide, how soon they're looking to move. And then they agree to make sure that I can follow up with them. So they click the agreement button. And then what it does is go to the video. And this is where they get it. They can watch my video and download the guide. Yes, I found it. I found a problem. Hey, Clara, can you check and see why this is erroring out and it's not showing the appointment calendar? And I'm going to get to this in a minute. This is actually a good thing. I'm glad this happened in front of you guys. So this is where the appointment booking section would appear, where they can book an appointment in the calendar. It would appear right here. And they can download their guide here. And so when they book the appointment, so what happens if they don't book the appointment? What happens? Like let's say that they don't book the appointment. What happens? Does anyone know?
You follow up with them.
You follow up with them, right? So because you already captured their information and they land in your CRM. So even if they're not booking appointments right away, you're still trying to optimize that or optimize this page. I still generated the lead. And I can follow up with them. And here's the great thing. How many people would rather go into a conversation being able to ask them a question if they got something of value, right, than just a cold call? So when you follow up with them, you'd rather say, yeah, I was just following up because I saw that you requested the home seller guide. I want to make sure you got that okay. Who agrees? That's a much warmer in, right, than freaking cold calling, right? So, and don't get me wrong, cold calling has its place for a lot of people. It was my first love. We're really good at it. I'm just sharing with you an alternative way to thinking, okay? So that leads us to the next part, is that once we've kind of got the structure of the funnel down, we create the compelling landing page. The big thing, folks, your headline is everything. You'll make more money by A/B testing, and really honing your headline than the rest of your sales copy. Can anyone give me an idea why why the headline's more important than anything else, and why you'll make more money by having great headlines than anything else that's on the page?
You have to capture their attention immediately.
Right. So if I'm spending all this money on marketing, and I'm spending this money and time and effort driving traffic to the landing page, if the headline doesn't capture their attention, they're going to bounce. They're going to leave. It doesn't matter how good the rest of the page is if my headline doesn't capture your attention, right?
It's you who?
And if you look at, and I'll give you an example on another agent attraction funnel, one that you guys probably opted into was this funnel right here. And so I'll share with you, can everybody see my screen okay? Right? So we've A/B tested this headline probably 20 different times to get it to the point where anybody that lands on this page, can anyone guess how many people actually opt in? Over 30 to 40% of people that land on this page actually click this button and opt into it, which is really good for industry standards. I'm going to share with you what's good and what's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But we've honed it in, we've tested it. We've also, and I'm also going to share this with you a little bit, or a technique on how to actually look at what else is happening on your funnel. We've also found that most people don't scroll down the page. So even though we've spent some time on this content down here, most people are hanging out up here. Does that make sense to everybody? So it's really important to get your headline right. Anybody have any questions on that?
I have a question. So you're
Yeah,
A/B testing. How often are you? I mean, that's obviously a high, like you're a marketer, so you're doing this. You have a team and whatever. So when you're doing that, are you throwing out two different ads, and you're going back and forth and going, okay, this one's getting it, and you're obviously tracking the metrics on the back end of whatever that, so you're doing this on Facebook. So you're looking at the back end office or whatever, but
how do you track it?
Just talk a little bit to that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a section that I am going to do with you guys on the metrics and tracking, but I'll give you a quick answer. In the beginning, when it first launches, I look at it per 100 views when it first launches, and I do that until you get it to the point where it's performing really well. And then I look at it maybe per 500 views, or make sure nothing changes. But in the beginning, you want to look at it with a high frequency. This is called micro testing. Okay. And folks, remember, I'm doing all of this, and I have a holding company that runs 3 different companies. There's certain things that you just need to do that you need to keep a priority. This is just one I choose to. Now, if you're not into marketing, you might have an assistant keep it a priority. You might tell them to do this. Does that make sense? So I have a team, I do have a team that helps me keep track of this, but when I launch a brand new funnel, I hold myself accountable to make sure it works alongside my marketing team, because it's super important, because I'm spending my money, right? I'm spending money on this son of a gun. So I want to make sure that even no matter how much money I don't have, my money, if I'm sending the little money birds out there, I want to make sure they fly back to me. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to make sure they're going to fly back to me. Right. So that's why I do it that way. That's just me. Okay. Great question. I'm going to get into more detailed ways to A/B test things in a little bit here. So really good question. How many people are finding this intriguing? You're learning something. It's helping you look at marketing from a different point of view. I'm just curious. Okay. So this is the stuff that I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in multiple courses to figure out what I'm training you here today. So I just hope you don't take it for granted. and just take action on what you can if it's a good fit for you. Okay. So going to get back to my slideshow here. Okay. So optimization and for conversion, and again, you guys got this workbook, so you can go back to it. So I'm going to fly pretty quickly here because we're running out of time for today. But use clear call to actions. So like if your funnel might not be performing if your call to action doesn't match their pain or motivation. So for example, instead of saying click here to learn more, you could say click here to download the thing, or click here to set the call, like click here to book an appointment call. So just make sure your call to action matches what you're actually giving them. Does that make sense? So you don't want a random call to action that doesn't make sense to have that on the page. Keep the design clean and the navigation easy. Assure your page is mobile friendly, and use contrasting colors that bounce well off of each other. So for example, you don't want sales copy that's hard to read. How many people have been on a page where the sales copy it's hard to read and there's too many colors going on? You're like, this is right? It's like it hurts the performance of the funnel. So rule of thumb is simple, clean, and make sure your sales copy is easy to read. Okay. A little pro tip: the sales copy should be written to speak to a 7th grader. So you want to pretend like you're writing your sales copy as if a 7th or an 8th grader is reading it. Why do you think that's so important?
Reach a broader audience.
Broader audience.
And people say no to things that they don't understand.
Yeah, if you're using big fancy words or terminology that people don't understand, right? Or your sales copy is too complex. Remember, your target audience, they may not have the same knowledge base that you do. So you got to keep it simple.
Yeah, there's a stat that says like newspapers are written on an 8th grade reading level.
Exactly. That's where this comes from. Whoever said that, that's a really great point. They do that with newspapers. Any professional copywriter will tell you write on an 8th to 10th grade level. And you can ask ChatGPT to do that too, or if you're using REN360, you can ask REN AI to do that. And then you're customizing your forms and fields. This is what you want. So like this is the information that you want on the lead. So it helps you follow up with it. That's your forms and fields. And then you test and optimize the funnel. We talked about A/B testing. Here's the things you want to A/B test. Okay. You want to A/B test your headlines, your call to actions, and your images are the big ones you want to A/B test. Okay. Your sales copy can go on that list, but really those are the ones that are going to affect everything the most. Your sales copy, believe it or not, it will affect the performance, but most people aren't going to read through all your sales copy. Right? They're going to say, is the headline intriguing? Is this capturing my attention? Do I want to find out more? Yes or no? And they're going to take an action. I'm just curious. I guarantee most of you didn't read every single word on the funnel that you came to, that you opted in when you joined this challenge, right? You probably skimmed over a couple things that caught your attention, and then you took an action. Drop yes in the chat if that makes sense, like if we're on the same page, right? So and then the next step is driving traffic to the funnel. Okay. And this is where we're going to leave off here today. So now that we've kind of got the funnel structure down, and again, everyone that bought the $7 packet is going to get access to the funnel workbook. And again, even if you don't end up building this yourself, you can have this workbook so you can keep the people accountable that you're going to hire to help you do this. Okay. So, but this whole workbook is in that $7 purchase packet. along with the PowerPoint and the recording of this if you want to go back to it. So we're going to get into driving traffic. So now that we have our funnel built, now we got to drive traffic to it. Who agrees it makes no sense to take the time to build a funnel if you're not going to actually have a really good marketing plan to drive traffic to it, right? So it makes no sense. I see this happen all the time. So we'll talk about that in depth tomorrow. What I want to do here is just take a quick pause. And I want to ask you guys, what was your big takeaway? What'd you learn? What was intriguing to you that you've learned about today's session? Either feel free to take yourself off mute, raise your hand before you talk though, so I can call on you because it might have a lot of people jumping in. If you have a comment out loud, or drop it in the chat. I'm curious to see what was intriguing to you.
The way that you, first of all, I'm fascinated with how you even came to know how to do all of this. And what I'd like to say as a compliment to you is that I'm very intimidated by all of this technology, especially at my age. And I feel like I can't learn this, it's overwhelming. But when you talk, you know, like I'm a 7th grader. Like, I appreciate that. But, you know, it's so the way that you talk in a way where I can accept the information without putting up, you know, resistance that with the monkey saying you're not smart enough to understand this. So your style breaks through that. So that's very interesting to me. So that's the first thing I want to say. And also, I heard you say quite a bit that you measure. The thing that I heard consistently through these last 2 days is constantly measuring to see if things are working. So it's one thing to learn it, which I imagine at some point I will, but then to understand if it's working. If not, then you can correct it. I'm an artist, so it's like a work in progress.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I love that. And one of the things I think we get caught up in is not measuring, or one of the things I think we need to work on as entrepreneurs is not measuring enough. Think about anything that you do that's important to you. Cooking, you're measuring something, right? Well, you should be anyway. Most likely something should be getting measured, right? If you're going to keep track of your diet or your weight loss, there should be some measurement there. And so here's what I find one of the biggest mistakes that we make as professionals, and it's not our fault or your fault necessarily, you're just not taught it. The difference between an average person in real estate or in the home services industry or business in general and somebody who's great, the CEO measures everything that they can, because they know the importance that you can't become better if you don't know where you're at, right? Peter Drucker, if you want to look him up, he's a billionaire, okay? Valerie, he talks about this, and he has a quote that I've quoted before if you've heard me train before, but he says that which is measured will and can be improved. That which is not measured will be ignored and eventually fail. And I thought it was a really powerful quote. Because if we think about it, what are the things that we pay attention to? Do they usually work out better than the things we don't pay attention to? Right? So, Valerie, I'm glad you picked up on that. Very important CEO lesson that we teach and show you how to put the systems in place in your business. It's one of the things that we do in our mastermind group. We're really big on measuring. So I'm glad you caught that. And by the way, I'm not good with technology. I want everybody to know that. I'm actually, I grew up in the country. I grew up on a farm. I went to school to become a physical education major. And even though I started in real estate, now I own or am a founder of a technology and marketing company, I'm not naturally good at technology. It actually freaks me out. But that's the thing. I need it simple. Who agrees that you need the technology simple to want to use it, right? Well, that's why I decided to do it, because I said, if I can do it, if I can figure out how to do this stuff, then I can help a whole lot of other people do it too. So don't be intimidated. The second big thing I learned is that you don't have to do it by yourself. It's understanding the psychology behind it and then helping somebody else assist you do the thing you want to accomplish. The reason why we get intimidated, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but the reason why we get intimidated is we start thinking we got to do this all ourselves. And the good entrepreneurs, they learn about it, but they get other people to do it. But they still oversee it.
Well, there's also the elements of not knowing where to begin.
Yeah, so true. It's so true.
Like
And hopefully just drop yes in the chat if you have you feel like so far with this workbook, you actually feel like you have a place to begin to develop a really good lead generation and appointment booking funnel. Hopefully we've accomplished that, right? So awesome. Thanks for your feedback, Valerie. Anybody else?
Real quick, Isaiah, when I go into my REN360 login, I do not see this AI bubble. It's not on here anywhere. Like,
Ooh,
I just see the feedback and I see the REN360 Resource Center, but I don't see the AI chat bubble. It's not there, like in my left-hand corner for some reason. And I'm on a Mac. Would that make a difference?
That's a really good question. I don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. What I would do is go to rensupport.com.
We created a ticket.
Okay, I created a ticket, so
okay.
I just figured I'd ask you anyway. But great, I have some great takeaways because, like, I forgot the lady that just talks when she was saying where to start. Like, that's been my whole thing with this AI and technology and stuff like that. So.
The other, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Here's the other thing. The strategy that I'm teaching you at the front end is the strategy you should use for any marketing and sales effort. You should always start off with your target market, who you're speaking to, what their problems are, and then building everything else around that. So I think it's really important that we don't just take this as for an appointment booking funnel, but this should be a process that we follow for anything we do. It starts with your offer. Your offer starts with your target market, and then you build everything else around your offer. That's one of the biggest mistakes that most business owners make is they don't have a good offer. They don't know who they're offering, clearly who their target market is, and they're not speaking to that and then bringing that back to the offer constantly. If you have a really good offer, by the way, that separates you from your competition, you rely less on your own ability to be able to persuade and sell. And also if you're bringing team members on, if the clearer your offer and the more competitive your offer is, it makes it easier to do business. It removes the financial friction or the reason why they want to do business with you versus your competition. The better you make that offer, or the more unique the product is that you're offering, or the service that you have.
I have a question.
All right.
Isaiah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know. I've gotten a lot of takeaways from this, but you know, when you have your one offer, right, or your initial offer, you're going to get them to so the hook or whatever. You know who your audience is, but you're like I'm going to find it in my notes here, but the you know, how many what is it? I guess the question is that one offer, but you have other things in your sales, you know, like it's not just this one thing that's saying.
Yeah, I get I think I get what you're asking. So what I want to do is I want to look at my service offering, right? And I want to look at all the benefits of that. And I want to make sure that the benefits of that line up with their pain points. And then what I want to do is I want to create some free content or something that they can engage in that I can give away for free. That's going to help them think through the problems they're having and what they need to do to solve them, which positions me as the authority to help them solve them. So that's where you come up with like the ebook or the checklist, the 52-point checklist to maximize the value of your home, the 7 things you have to think about before you buy a home, right? And you're offering those things up front that are complement to the service that you offer. So for an example, had specialized in a certain mortgage product, I'd say 3 things to think about before you get an XYZ mortgage, or or whatever the thing is that you're promoting. Like for me, we're huge on providing cash offers. So what we do is we say, we put out ads saying, wondering what your home's worth. Should you do a cash offer or sell on the market? Click here to find out more. So we do things and then they go to the page, and then we explain the benefits of the cash offer versus full market value, so they understand the difference. And then we've created a lead from that. And now we're following up, and we have options to offer them both. Does that help?
Yes. I guess what I'm asking is, on this initial offer, you're just going, hey, I am a guy that can provide benefits. And then, but as they click on these different funnels, or it takes you down the funnel or the rabbit hole, are you offering some of these other like ideas, or are you saving that for another time, I guess?
For this particular funnel, you keep it really simple. Here's the landing page. Go to this video, explain to them why they should work with you. If they're looking for like, let's say you're selling into probate, 52 examples or 52 things to think about, before, whatever the probate problems are, right? So,
okay.
And then you on video say, hey, look, I'm glad, thank you for downloading my guide, and just wanted to let you know that I specialize in this, and I feel confident and comfortable that I can help you with all your needs. Feel free to enjoy the guide, but if you want an extra free consultation, click on the link below, and I'll set up an appointment to talk to you about a special offer that I have to help you achieve XYZ goal.
Okay. That's great. That helps. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Where do you get the funnels?
Yeah, so REN360 is going to actually be releasing funnel software in the next 2 weeks, and that will be available in the Conversion IQ application for all of you that are getting excited about funnels. There's also a service that you can actually build funnels. It's a little bit harder, and a service we have called REN Lead Sites. So we're kind of we're going through a transition here with that specific service offering. But if you're looking for something that you could like just dive into right away, and you don't want to wait a couple weeks, then ClickFunnels is a great service for funnel building. That's what we use currently.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the template. So you have the templates to build these out, or we got to wait for them?
Oh, yeah. So the template to build them out are in the workbook. They'll be in the workbook for you.
I'm sorry, what was the name of the funnel you said? I'm sorry, what was that? Club funnel?
ClickFunnels. Yeah.
Well, ClickFunnels. Now I have a question, because like for instance, my Facebook business page that I have like 6,600 followers now. They're growing very fast. So now can I use the funnel? Can I put this on my page?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. All the ways you drive traffic to your funnel. That's one of them. Great. I love where your mind's going. So like if you go to any one of my organic page, any one of my social media pages, or anything that we're doing, we have links to different funnels that we built with whatever we're trying to accomplish. So yep, you could definitely have your funnel built into your social media pages.
One last question. So if you pay the $87, or you just get the REN360, you have access to the $7, $27, and $87 as well, masterclass, or you have to buy those as well?
If you're with REN360, you get access to everything if you're already a current client.
But I'm saying if you sign up today, you get access, or you had to be a current client?
Yeah, if you signed up today and you actually became a paying client, and gave it your credit card, it would trigger it so you didn't have to pay for it. They would refund you if you already did too, by the way.
Yeah, and I believe that was Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred. Did I answer your question, Alfred?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I was just going to say, guys, our support team will be reaching out today and tomorrow too, guys, to kind of go over and make sure you get access to everything that you purchased. So if you did purchase a $27, right, you will be getting followed up with by the team, most likely in the morning tomorrow, to make sure you have access to everything you need.
So how many people got a lot of value out of today's training? Drop yes in the chat if you got a lot of value out of today's training, okay? So if you got a lot of value out of today's training, I want you to imagine what it would be like to fast forward 12 months from now and being able to have a step-by-step process to develop systems, operating systems for every major important part of your real estate, mortgage, or insurance business. Where you fast forward, you have a clear offer, you have an awesome marketing plan, you have standard procedures to make sure that you're following the best practices. Same with your sales, your service, you have the right technology, all flowing in with your business plan. Where could your business be 12 months from now if you were able to optimize every key area of your business? For most of our clients, when they join our Growth CEO mastermind groups, that's why they start having major breakthroughs into their business, because they're able to get done in 1 year what would take them a decade to do on their own, trying to figure it out on their own. Does that make sense to everybody? So drop yes in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? So like you can go figure all this stuff out on your own, okay? Or you can join our mastermind group where we have blueprints for every single part of your business, where we help you master 8 pillars of lead generation, get your sales and persuasion down, and making sure you have all the systems in place to grow and scale your business, outlining the people, the process, and tools. So you don't have to play the guessing game, but you can plug into proven strategies, the same strategies that I've used to build a successful real estate business, also 2 other businesses, doing over $40 million in cash collected throughout all of the businesses. And so not yet, we don't yet, and I apologize for that. I wish we did have Spanish training. So if you're interested in that, we're going to give you a quick rundown and a walkthrough. I don't know if Scott's going to do that today or Matt's going to do that. Give you a quick rundown and take you inside the mastermind group. At this point, you're totally cool to just come back tomorrow for the next part of the training. But if you're curious to learning more about our mastermind group and how our coaching consulting can help you grow your business, feel free to stay after. And at this point, what I'm going to do is hand it over to Scott to bring us underneath the hood of Growth CEO and the mastermind groups that we offer. Scott, the floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Well, hey, guys, let's start off by giving Isaiah a big round of applause, guys. He did a great job today, right? A lot of good information there. All right. A lot of work goes into that, guys. I know he makes it seem so easy, right? He's a natural. He's been doing this for a while. Trust me, he puts a lot of work into it, guys. Testing, right? Data. So glad you guys took away a lot from that. What I'll start off by saying is, imagine, guys, if you had this opportunity that you just experienced in the last 2 days, every single week. So every week you were meeting with us 3 times a week for an hour. Let me ask you guys, if you guys could open up the chat, where would your business be in 6 to 12 months from now if you met with us 3 times a week and focused on different parts of your business? Right? So I look around, I see Richard, Pat, right? Jose, Octavio, my guy over there. I see you. All right, Alfred, thank you for communicating. Gerardo, right? Linda. Guys, think about that, right? You just learned a lot of information today, right? We can put hands up. Imagine if you actually had action-based coaching where you were meeting with Isaiah, myself, and our other gurus 3 times a week, strategizing, and then actually going and taking action on the coaching and implementing it live. What would that do? I see Maggie's down there too, right? So like Maggie, you're like, okay, so should I do this? Can I do this first? What if, guys, you had coaching and then Jose, you got to jump off the coaching and got to meet with a team that's going to actually help you implement what you were just coached on? Do we think, guys, that could move the needle for us a little bit? Yes. Okay. And guys, I'm going to say this. Okay. And for some of my clients that have our technology, this is our 7-figure community that I'm about to review with you. Okay. So I want to start off with who is this for? Well, guys, this is for if you're a client of ours on Database Pro and you want to start meeting with Isaiah, myself, 3 times a week. This is an opportunity, guys. You're going to have to do this. And it's for business owners. Let me say that again. Business owners, entrepreneurs, right, that want to find more ways to generate more revenue in less time. Okay. And I like to say, looking around, Maggie, Gerardo, Alfred, right, if you're looking for a partner, not a coach, that's just going to tell you, hey, you need to buy more leads, Pat. That's how you're going to make more money. Go buy more leads, make more cold calls. Anybody ever been coached that before? Right? Been told, hey, you got to make more dials. You got to buy more leads. Anybody? The only one that ever heard that? All right, I see a couple hands. Okay. All right. Well, guys, here's what I'm going to tell you. You just heard from Isaiah right there. We're going to teach you how to build your systems, processes, and infrastructure to grow and scale a 7-figure business. Okay. And if you could write this down for me, guys, where your net profit, so write that word down, net profit is between $250,000 and $350,000 a year. You go, whoa, yeah. Guys, just so you know, if you make $1 million in GCI, you're going to net profit between $250,000 and $350,000 over the year, because Uncle Sam's going to get us. Okay. We have the cost of our business, right? And all the expenses we're going to have out there of running $1 million company. So who is this not for? If you're sitting there going, I just want to add a transaction over the year, Scott, that's it. This is not for you guys. This community, right, is not going to be for you. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm being straight up with you guys. If you say, Scott, 2024, I need to double my business. I need to add an extra 20 to 40 transactions, and I don't want to work more. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to increase my average price point. I want to generate new leads. Then guys, yes, Octavia, you take care, my friend. Thank you for coming. Then guys, this community is what that's all about. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to share my screen and get to how do we do this? How do we help you build a 7-figure business? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and guys, please take notes on this. All right, because some of this, guys, I'm going to just give you an opportunity today. By the way, I don't want your credit card. I'm not going to ask for it because I don't know if I necessarily want it yet. You're going to say, what? Guys, just so you know, our Grow CEO community is by interview only. Why? We need you there. So Rita, right? Pat, you join our 7-figure community, guys. We got to know you're committed, and we got to know that you're going to be at those calls every week with us. Okay, so if you look at this, guys, the very first thing that we're going to do in our 7-figure community is, Jose, we're going to build a custom 90-day game plan for you. Okay, can you guys see my screen okay? Yes? All right, cool. So guys, and please take down notes if you're going to do this on your own. You need to have a plan. What is your plan over the next 90 days? So I'm going to stop and ask you guys right now, if you guys could open up your chat for me. Let me know you're still alive, breathing. I know you just took a lot of information down. All right, let me know you're still there with me. Let's get that chat open. 1 through 10, guys. 10, your plan's in place. You know exactly what you're going to be doing step by step over the next 90 days. And 1, you have no plan at all. You're completely freestyling and you don't know what you're doing after this call today. Where do we land, guys, on our business plan? 10, we're all over it. We know everything we're doing for the next 90 days. And 1, you don't know what you're doing in the next 5 minutes. All right, I see 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay. Guys, first and foremost, thank you for being transparent for yourself too. right? Because guys, we got to know that. So the first thing is you got to look at your business plan, and you have to base that around your budget. So guys, Isaiah and I, when we build our business plan, we can't say, you know what? Let me build a business plan off a $500 million company. Well, we're not there yet, right? We're not at 500 million. So our business plan cannot be based off of that. So by the way, Gerardo, you might have a different budget than me. Jose, you might have a different budget than me. So we have to make sure, guys, that business plan is based around our budget. And you got a lot of training today about having a unique value and offer to the marketplace that Maggie's going to make them say, there's no way that I can't work with him. There's no way, Ezekiel, right, that I'm not listing with Scott. What is, if you want to write this down, guys, and I'm sure Isaiah said this probably, your irresistible offer. The offer they can't walk away from. And guys, you can't say my irresistible offer is, well, I'm amazing. Guys, that's not an irresistible offer. That's a feature of working with you. And guess what? I bet you, Linda, you are amazing. Pat, I bet you are amazing. Right? But we got to make sure in 2023, right? It's not 2021. We can't just be going out there saying, well, this is what I do. Here's my presentation. Are you ready to list? Right? We have to have a plan in place and an irresistible offer. From there, guys, we're going to help you launch your sales and marketing plan. Again, please write this down, to generate new leads. So if you go, I like what Isaiah went over today. It was amazing. I want to generate my own leads, but I need some help. I can't do this all on my own now. Guys, here's what I'm going to say. If my team can please drop this in the chat for me. If you need to generate more leads, guys, organically, okay, and write that word down, organic leads, okay, not